Reputation risk, exactly. Now, within our community, you're establishing your reputation yourself. So it is basically like a rating system. Think of it like that. And then, based on the work that you create, the community is rating you. So you have of course, this needs to be first of all established. But once it is established, and you do a mistake and something else, you can actually get fined or you get downgraded, and So, and this is a constantly moving thing.
Do you also have a dispute resolution process? Because there will be a lot of disputes, I can expect,
That is something that we're looking at. We're still developing that. So that is not yet set 100%.
Okay, but anyway, another question is, because you get the commission, then most probably the venture capitalist has to pay tokens to, the advisors, right? I mean,
Exactly.
Does he have to pay everybody involved, or just the one who advises this?
Just the ones who are active, actually.
Well, what about the voting? The checkers, because they don't have any incentive to check it.
I know that, but they are active. They are active in the community. So actually, we have an incentivization system for the community to participate. The active participant in the whole community, everybody can take part in this. And obviously, they are getting something for that. They are getting then Valor token access, and they can take. Then they are taking part in different internal remuneration systems. So this is something which is very important to us, because what Smart Valor is getting from the issuer side, that is for the work of the platform, of the marketplace, of making this whole thing running, and a part of the due diligence is our work, and the part of the checks, the very important checks, they are also done by us. So certain costs are also on our side. We have the legal costs, we have this and that. So that is covered by that. However, for everything that the community is doing, that goes to the community. So we don't keep that for us. And this is really the community thinking process, which is extremely important.
The question is, it's again, when I see these platforms, for instance, okay, it's a very good platform, but my question is always, right now you want to cut out the middleman, but once, there must be some dominant player appearing. You understand what I'm saying? Because all advisors or accountants, they're not going to be, the same, because they are rated, and they are really super rated, guys, and people actually, because that's reputation, and they want to use them, and if the demand goes up, it means, it drives the price up, and then in that case, actually later on, if you see the commission, it's got to be lower than iBanks, but still, the participant will think like this is too expensive, but I'm not, willing to use another lower creditable, advisor instead, though. And in that case, well, what do you think? That could happen, right? Because you're not going to dictate, you cannot charge this, we're going to kick you out, he's the best. Yeah. You're not going to do that, because
Well, maybe we will need to put in place at one point, maybe we need to put in place a higher ceiling or something like this. But we're not there yet, right? That is happening when it's really, really already grown up and really a big platform. So we will see how we can deal with that on that side.
Okay.
However, initially, let's just take it back to the traditional side. If you brought up before UBS, if you're going with UBS, that has a very good reputation and that has a good quality, you need to pay for that. Now, if you go for a different actor in a different country, you will get away much cheaper. But yes, so you do have the choice now between the expensive provider and the cheap provider, or the lower cost provider. Now, it's exactly the same thing. This is not a problem. This is how the market is already working. And our platform, we cannot reinvent everything. We cannot change the whole world. We are focused on a couple of factors. We want to keep everything at least as good as it was, and a couple of factors: the liquidity, the global access, the access to new clienteles. We want to make that more democratized. That is what we're focused on. Now, if there are something, the price differences between the contributors is different and people are not happy with that, it's just like in the market we have it already today.
Okay, then
improve everything.
Another thing is, between these asset managers and the investors, is it like a P2P mechanism, or do you have a centralized, mechanism that actually connects these two sides and not directly? How does it work?
So it depends very much on what we're talking about. On the fundraising platform, for example, we do have a platform that is a one-way street, basically, right? Because you have the fund or you have the asset, whatever it is, and then you have the offer by the investor community.
Right.
So there we're book building. So that is it. Thereafter, in the secondary market trading, yes, we do have a trading book. So we have the two sides, and that goes via our platform.
And the trading is a decentralized P2P
The
thing?
trading itself it is a decentralized system. Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, that's also P2P, right? Because the asset manager, when he needs funds, he actually gets it directly from, and you will have some kind of distribution, smart contract in between
it
that.
is routed over the marketplace,
Right.
but it comes directly from the investor, from that actor. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And then I got it. The token is used for tokenizing, and it pays your fee. It pays the fee of the advisors. And is there any other function for the token?
Sure. For us, it's important that you can take part in it without you're not forced to buy our tokens. We don't like to force something onto the people.
All right.
So with fiat currency, with cryptocurrency, you can take part in the platform, in the marketplace. However, with the token, there are some advantages. The fees are decreased. You get a discount on that, so that's the number one. Then you also get voting rights in the strategic decisions, and we have polls for Smart Valor. That is something which is extremely important within the whole blockchain community. It's important that the people who are using your service also have a say in how you run your service, or what is the next development, or what is the next project, these kind of things. So they're having voting rights there, and then there's the remuneration system. They can take part in this in the system that they are the active users. They get rewarded for their activity in the community.
Such as what kind of activity?
Well, the trading activity is one thing. So the more you trade, of course, you're creating volume that is good not only for us, but it's good for the market. We need flux to go here and there because we are about creating liquidity. So thereby, by being active, you're kind of like a market player. That is something that we want to support. So you get rewarded for that. However, as we mentioned before in the due diligence, the knowledge, the work that you actually put in, for that you get also rewarded. And for that you get rewarded in Valor tokens. So that it's tied to our token, because we don't want to pay you in fiat or cryptocurrency, because we're not the ones who decide what you like or not. We are paying you in one major coin, and for us, that's of course the Valor token.
Okay. And then what did you do about, I mean, there could be some bad players in the market, right? Because you're not asking for anything for the participation, right? So, for instance, they can just, shoot, funding, what is that? What do you call that? That they're gonna fund, like bogus,
Yeah, I mean,
funding offers.
On the underlying itself, there we are doing the due diligence, and that is extremely important. Let's start this way. We are regulated in Switzerland by the Financial Market Authority. We're a financial intermediary, and we're going for the security dealer license. That's the highest you can get. With that, you can actually act on the traditional stock market. So you can imagine that there's many rules that we need to follow. The user doesn't need to care about that. The issuer doesn't need to care about that. That's our work. That is our service that we give, so that the platform is compliant. Now, in that, you have the due diligence. We're making sure that the company is not some kind of a bogus company with some kind of a shitcoin. We are making a due diligence both on the company, on the funds where they are coming for, on the people behind it, the beneficial owners, and then also the technology itself. If they are creating the token, we're auditing the tokens, and we're getting also external third-party auditor auditing in it, so that we can make sure that there's no something hidden in the background. Basically, it is like when you create an equity, you also need to make sure that the rights that come with it are okay.
Right.
Because even in the traditional market, you could do crazy things. And that is why the bank is there for. They need to make sure that it's in a fine way. And we have many ways to structure it, which is okay, which is decided by the issuing companies. But we need to make sure that in the end, everything is right.
Okay. So is this a protocol? Do you have a mainnet, or is it ERC20 based?
The market itself, that is, we have the Valor chain, which is a consensus-based chain. We have initial nodes already in place. That is what we're building out. And on that one, that is an internal. We need that for the internal functioning, risk management of the booking, etc.
Okay.
That is one thing. Now this has then connectors to private or public blockchains. So that means that we're agnostic. We don't want to run only on Ethereum or only on something else. So that's why we are connecting to other chains. Right now, the focus is now on Ethereum, that's true, but we're also adding other blockchains. Because first of all, we don't know yet what will be the greatest and best blockchain in the future.
Right.
They are still developing. Some others are already out there, but they are not live yet. But they are very, very promising. So maybe they will be the next focus. And in order for us, it is important that the client who is investing in it, he does not need to care about which chain it is about. We are making sure that we're on the right track for the smart contract and for the needs of it. We're using the good blockchain. Every blockchain has good and bad sides. So that is this. Now, if it is changing, then the next year we will use another one. But the client does not need to care about that, because the token itself, it is issued on the blockchain which at that moment is the best.
Okay, so on Ethereum, so your product is a DEP, right?
Yes,
the tokenization platform and the exchange. That's a DEP, right?
Well, we have our own chain.
Valor chain, yeah.
Yes, the Valor chain is run also with Hyperledger. That we're on that side. And then on the other side, for example, our token is an ERC20 compliant token. So there we are of course tied now to Ethereum, and the token, the Valor token, will remain that. That is not changing, of course. Once created, it's there.
Okay. So so is there any other usage of the blockchain other than this token voting functionality?
Well, as I said, the remuneration and these kind of things,
yeah.
you get additional information by using our token, for example. You get additional information, you get additional access. It's kind of like a VIP access to our platform.
Okay.
However, if you were asking also the blockchain itself, it's really just the technology. It's really amazing how you can connect the traditional financial side with the new possibilities. Because let's be honest, right now the access to alternative investments, for example private equity or also venture capital, it is limited to only the institutional investors or the high net worth individual,
right.
The super rich. Now, why is that? We will make sure that we are following the investor protection rules of Switzerland because we are regulated. However, we do want to open it up to the affluent and on certain asset classes retail investor base, because that is 90% of the population of the world which is just excluded from it. Why? There is not a proper reason for every exclusion. And not only the type of investors, but also the geography of the investors. Now you cannot get access to it only if you have, as I said, at least $1 million or many millions even in the big funds, and only if you have access via one of the big banks or brokers which are around in the developed countries. Other ones, they are just included.
That's what I thought, So how can your platform change that actually? Because mostly these funds, they're looking for high net worth. They always have this minimum investment threshold, and that's not going to change with the blockchain.
It can change the same way, especially the large funds. They don't need this. They don't care about small investors because they are anyway oversubscribed.
Right.
That is the reality. They will never go into this direction. However, you have got the high quality funds which are very much interested in this because they see the potential in it. They see the potential in the secondary market. And that's why they also have an interest in going this direction. And with those, we're discussing it. Of course, we still need to stick to the laws, but at the same time with Switzerland, we've got a very supportive government, and as long as we keep the checks on the basis, that they are required. We are allowed to do this and also do it internationally.
Okay.
So that we can open up new jurisdictions where it is not possible with the setup of a banking of an investment bank in Switzerland, for example. And in other countries, it's even more complicated because they are not as financial friendly as Switzerland is. Switzerland is the banking hub of the world. It's in banking, it's number 5. In wealth management and investment, it is the number 1 in the whole world.
Okay, so what about the token volatility? Okay, because this is a tokenized, fund, tokenized equity, tokenized whatever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the token will, on your exchange, it will,
Yeah.
it could be volatile, right? I mean, they could, impact actually, the holding of the token, and you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Because usually, if it's just the underlying fund, they will see at, the fund return, right? When they make a decision.
Yes.
But now you also have to consider the token value.
Yeah, but actually the positive side is that it is rather going into the positive side. Negative scenarios are always possible, but it is very, very unlikely. Now consider a fund. Fund has a net asset value. The fund issues it either monthly or quarterly, sometimes even daily or weekly. It depends, every fund works differently. Now you have that's the real value of the assets which are in the fund. Now if, for example, the token would, by any chance, because somebody needs to sell very much out of it, would go down, then you have an arbitrage possibility. So the market would be stupid not to buy it, because you know from the fund official statements saying that this fund is worth 100%. Now the token is trading at 99%. Of course, this 1% is coming for free. So the market will buy this until it reaches at least 100%. So on the downside, you're very much protected down to the net asset value of the fund itself. Now, if the fund is going in a negative direction because of a negative market movement, that we cannot change. But we're not reinventing the alternative investment space. That's how it works. So we're not responsible for that.
Yeah, but yeah.
However, on the positive side, if you have now this investment is making the minimum investment smaller. You can actually trade in tokens. Now that makes it more interesting for more users to come into this and take part in this asset class. Now, if you have more demand, then the price of the token backed by this asset is actually increasing. So it is possible that the token price is higher than the net asset value. But this is the positive direction. In the negative direction, as said, it's protected by the net asset value.
Yeah, but I mean, the net asset value, like you said, if it decreases.
That is the typical risk of every investment. We can, if equities go up or down, we cannot change that. If funds go up or down, we cannot
Yeah,
change
I think it makes sense because, the token tanks because, the net asset is decreasing. I mean, still,
It will follow,
yeah, because
of
he will
course.
get anyway that, 100% of, the asset value back.
Yes.
That's what you're
exactly.
saying, right?
That is, yes, they are fully legally tied together.
Yeah, right. Because in that case, he most probably wouldn't be able to sell it on the market because the token price tanks, the net, the underlying asset tanks. In that case, it's anyway. I mean, that's the nature of the market.
Yeah, that's by tanking. That is in making it then cheaper.
But
and
when
that
it
way
goes
you can
up, it gives you another upside, and that could be a very attractive, selling point.
There are many players who are exactly in these times when the financial crisis was hitting.
Yeah.
Many people went into real estate when it was down on the bottom. I mean, the last financial crisis was triggered by the U.S. Real estate market, and it swapped over. Also, other real estate was very much decreased by that. There were many market players who just came in exactly for that reason, and those guys they have done very well in the last years.
So a couple of days ago, I talked to another asset management platform, and actually they were taking on a different a tactic because they were more like creating. They already had this traditional fund investment advisory, and then they're creating a crypto fund investment advisory because they somehow they want to kind of create a hedging scheme through that because if you want to you're really into crypto investment and you think there will be an upside, then you invest it, but once something happens, they will just cut it and then put the money into the traditional hedge fund, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, that was their scheme. You know, it's a different scheme because they are not tokenizing, actually, you know, the funding process.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think? Do you think it's a different model, but you know, what do you think? You know.
Well, it sounds like you know, like a crypto investment fund. Now these are coming more and more. In Switzerland we have some, but internationally everywhere they are now being created. And of course, that is now part of the new alternative investment class. Now, do we require it? Yes, I think so, because active management in the blockchain, in the cryptocurrency and token industry is very important because it is very volatile. So it is, I think, very healthy that we have these funds coming up and these advisors coming up. Now, we are not doing the same thing as they are, but we can support them, of course, with our platform. They can also make the fundraising on our platform. So there we're more like a service provider to them.
So even a crypto fund can use your service?
Exactly, yeah. Crypto funds
to
are
tokenize
also
the
one of
funding
asset
process?
classes. Yes, that's also one of our asset classes that we're actually right now already up, and we can tokenize them already. We, at least legally, we're set with the regulation for utility and payment tokens. That's what we're already set.
Okay, all right. I think. Do you have anything else? I mean, you know, it was a very thorough interview.
Well, I just hope that the people like the thought behind it, because it is about democratizing the access to this wealth generation, investment service, first-in-class investment services that is not existing yet. Now, new geographies for new type of clienteles. This is really what the democratization is about, and that is the long-term target of us. And I invite everybody to contact us whenever they have any questions about Smart Valor, of the platform, or the token itself. Just contact us. Our website is smartvalor.com. You can contact us there.
Right.
And we're very much looking forward to Asia, because here we're quite unknown yet. In Switzerland, we're the number one. We're all over Europe. We're the number one in the security tokenization. So we're looking forward to get more active in Asia, get the feedback from here, get issuers, and also connect with the community.
When you mean number one in security tokenization, what do you mean? Is there a kind of a ranking?
There are no other companies active yet in Europe on that side. So basically, you have few actors who are thinking about, who are developing now the security tokenization, but all of them are focused on a different asset class, usually on equities. We are on the alternative investment side, and others are also focused on other geographic areas. So, you know, there's no real overlap. So over there in Europe, we're the number one, and based in the best crypto-friendly and supportive country, Switzerland. We are within Switzerland, we're in the Crypto Valley, and we're one of the creators of the whole valley.
But I'm not so, you know, I don't know well about, you know, the size, but I mean, the alternative investment side is much smaller than the equity side, isn't it, globally?
Globally it is, yes, but still we're talking about a huge market.
Yeah.
So this is, we're not deciding where the market goes. Now one possibility is that the alternative investment space will grow in the future. Actually, in the past 10 years, it has very strongly grown. Back in the days, it used to be only equity, fixed income, which were the big drivers.
Right.
And a little bit commodities, but that has always been a small thing. And alternative investment has been an allocation of 5 to 10% max in a standard portfolio. Nowadays, this has increased strongly, partially to 20 to 40%, and on some setups even more. So this growth is also supported by companies like us coming in there and opening up a new investment platform for new investors.
So you think tokenization will kind of, you know, boost actually the alternative investment, you know, industry?
Yes, absolutely. I think it is. If you compare the historic performance of the alternative investment industry on the venture capital side, private equity, they are outperforming equity most of the time. There are a few exceptions.
Okay.
Now, if you look at real estate in the very long term, that's the most successful, most stable long-term growth and the strongest. So it's outperforming even fixed income and equity. So that market, yes, I'm pretty sure that this is going to grow even more.
Okay. I'm really looking forward to have another, follow-up interview.
Very happy.
I don't know, in some time, because I just want to see, how this market is going to
Absolutely.
go, because there's a very new concept. It's not proven, and I'm just interested in it because I also agree that actually tokenizing financial assets or alternative investment, I think it has a lot of positive sides.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
as long as the most important thing is, if you do this, it's a great target, but do it in a good way. And this is where the regulatory side, this is why we're so keen and so happy about already being regulated and going for even more regulation going forward. We're applying for the next round already, because if you're an actor, you only have one brand, you only have one reputation.
Right.
That can never be with the short-term side. You can never endanger that, because this is, we need to stand on the side of the investors, and this is the only thing which makes us successful in the long term.
Right. Okay. Jason, do you have any questions?
No.
You're good? Okay. I think that's
Thank you
it.
very
Thank you
much.
very much for the interview.
Looking forward to the next
You enjoyed
meeting.
it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Great.
I'm really looking forward to it because I just want to see how the future is going to be changed by
Yeah.
blockchain, and crypto.
Really, come also visit us whenever you're in Switzerland.
Sure,
Come
yeah,
visit
yeah,
us
yeah.
in the Crypto Valley. We're in the Thomson Reuters Incubator Hub, so we're actually in the same room as the research and development team of Thomson Reuters.
Wow.
It's great to have this support by the financial data provider of the world.
Yeah, really.
So
wow, that's
we're
something
really welcoming.
worth to mention.
Forgot to mention it. So.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. And Germany, good luck next
Thanks.
World Cup.
Yeah, 4 years. Long to go.
All right. Cool, man.
Thank you very much.
Bye.